r/AskReddit, what's older than we think? Flushing toilets date all the way back to the Indus River Valley civilization, back in 2000 BC. The ancient Romans, well, the wealthy ones, had central heating in their homes. You can actually still see the pipes in some of the buildings at Herculaneum. On top of that, if you ever get the chance to see how Roman homes were designed, window placement, ceilings, etc., to naturally cool themselves, it's nothing short of incredible. Escalators have been around since 1859, though they were called rotating stairs. Sharks. Sharks as a species are older than trees. I knew they were old, but damn not that old. I looked it up, and fossils are said to be around 450 million years old. My contribution to this thread was ferns, 359 million years old, but sharks are another 100 million years before that. Mind equals blown. Fun fact about evolution. There was a time when trees existed before there were microbes to decompose them. The trees were made of lignin and cellulose, and the microbes that could eat them took some time to evolve. These trees grew 150 plus feet tall and had shallow roots, so they fell over quite easily. The trees would fall down to the forest floor and just sit there. They wouldn't decompose. So you'd have forests that were hundreds of feet deep of just fallen over trees. The name Tiffany. It dates back to the 12th century, and has actually led to a thing in writing called the Tiffany problem, because you can have a well-researched historical novel that people just don't buy into, because you named your 12th century peasant Tiffany. It just sounds laughably anachronistic. Fax machines. They were invented in 1843, before the telephone. Ancient Egyptians who built the pyramids. The ancient Egyptians were as old to the ancient Romans as the ancient Romans are to us. The electric car. What is likely the first human-carrying electric vehicle with its own power source was tested along a Paris street in April 1881 by French inventor Gustave Trouve. The first crude electric car was built in the 1830s, but it was essentially a semi-functioning model. The electric car was a direct competitor to gasoline-powered vehicles until the 1920s, when roads got better, people started driving further than the range of an electric car, and the world started finding major oil reserves. I don't know if this counts, but dinosaurs lived on the Earth a lot longer than most people think. When you think of dinosaurs, you think of their extinction, but they roamed the Earth for 165 million years. Compare that to our 6 million and it's almost mind-boggling, at least in my opinion. Nintendo. This company was actually created in 1889. Nintendo was founded in 1889. Van Gogh painted Starry Night in 1889. Adolf Hitler was born in 1889. Hitler made the worst video games. That's why nobody likes him now. Oreos. I was shocked to learn that Oreos predate chocolate chip cookies, sliced bread, and my 100-year-old great-grandmother. Newgrange in Ireland. It's a man-made Neolithic stone structure that predates the Great Pyramids and Stonehenge. It's a wonder that it isn't one of the great wonders of the world. I was really surprised to discover when Oxford University was founded. They don't know the year for sure, but they know there was definitely teaching going on there in 1096. The fact that the lighter is older than the match shook my head as a kid. It also gave me the curiosity to question things that seems obvious. Brain surgery. In 1997, archaeologists discovered an ancient tomb in the French village of Ensisheim from 5000 BC, which contained the decomposing body of a 50-year-old man with holes in his skull. After a thorough examination, it was determined that the holes, located near the frontal lobe, were caused by a type of surgery, not by forced trauma, and the operation appears to have been successful because the wounds healed before the patient's death. To this day, however, researchers cannot say for sure what exactly the surgery was trying to fix. Contact lenses. Leonardo da Vinci had the idea of contact lenses in 1508, and the first successful contact lenses were made in 1888. Beer. It's one of the oldest prepared drinks in the world. It not only predates every civilization but actually contributed to their creation. Stonehenge. It predates the oldest pyramid in Egypt by nearly 300 years. Social media. Wealthy ancient Romans had a system where they used slaves as scribes and messengers in order to share gossip and art, poetry and news updates with friends in their social circle. For a lot of us, ourselves, I've known for a while that I'm older now than my mom and dad were when I was born, but the other day, I realized I actually have memories of them when they were younger than I am now. That's proper weird to think about and really made me think I'm a lot older than I feel. That said, my parents are older than I think too. They're only a few years away from the age I remember my nana and granddad being. The food at the back of your cupboard. The year 1990, we are as close to it as we are the year 2050. Astronomer here. The star HD 140283, also nicknamed the Methuselah star, is about 200 light-years away from us and looks nondescript. However, if we take its composition and compare it to our standard models of stellar evolution for other, better-studied stars, the star's age pops out as 14.46 plus or minus 0.8 billion years old. Let me remind you, the universe is thought to be about 13.8 billion years old, and we don't think we got the first stars until maybe 200 million years after that. Obviously, we do not think the Methuselah star is literally older than the universe when it is more likely that we just don't understand stellar evolution for stars like it super well. However, it is exciting because it is undoubtedly a very old star, and currently we do not have any observations of what the first stars were like in the universe. Called population 3 stars, it's thought they were larger than stars are today because there were no metals from stellar fusion to contaminate the hydrogen gas, and they'd thus only live a few million years tops. As such, it's very interesting to have a very old star relatively next door to us in the Milky Way. It will be really interesting in coming years if other very early stars are finally observed to figure out how old they are, and how they compare to this one. Google, Reddit, YouTube, it's hard to imagine that they already have been around for 15 years with Google actually being around 20 years old. An entire generation has now grown up that cannot remember that it wasn't always there. Cruise control, power windows and automatic headlights. I saw all three on a 1955 Cadillac. Oh, and the radio on it had a seek function. The use of concrete. Its use goes as far back as the Mayans, but more notably in Egyptian construction as well as in Rome. The Romans had an arguably greater concrete mix than we currently have, but that was never passed down. Eventually the use of concrete fell out of popularity for centuries as we seemingly lost the information needed to create it, as if the recipe was thrown out and nobody wrote it down. A Native American empire nearly a third of the size of the present-day United States existed in the Great Lakes region at the time the Old Testament of the Bible was thought to be written. The idea that everything's getting worse and that the world's coming to an end soon. Sure, there's new vocabulary and new science involved, but people have been sounding that pessimistic alarm throughout history. Contraceptives such as condoms were around a very long time and made of hard leather. The first carbonated drink to be sold to the public was invented by Swiss watchmaker and amateur scientist J.J. Schweppe in 1783, who sold his delicious, sparkling water to thirsty customers in Geneva. In just 7 years, he was doing business so fast that he moved the factory to London and introduced a new flavor, sparkling lemon, to stand out from competitors who were trying to imitate his drink. Hey everyone, this is Scott from /World. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.